We're going to start with the cover design for the cloud booklet as well as the artistic painting of the clouds. That has to be scientifically accurate as well. Now, I'm doing this as a smaller version so that you can actually see it, because if I did anything larger, it would be a little too parsed out for you to see it. So once again, it's folded into 5 sections. Okay, so I have 5 sections that I'm showing it a different thing, and it's going to open from the bottom up. So this far right panel is going to be your front. So when I close it up, okay, this is going to be the front. Now I've gone ahead and I've pre-drawn some lines because once again, we want this to be kind of a neat, clear presentation. So I've taken a ruler and I've marked kind of down the same amount so that I can make nice parallel lines. And then I did the same thing on the bottom. So before you even start, you can write in your, title of your book. I'm going to do it in pencil just so that you can see. But you might want to do it in like one of the white pencils. Sharpie might be a little hard. If you do a thick Sharpie, it might bleed through. A thin Sharpie may be okay, but test it out on a piece of scratch paper first that's the same type of paper. Now, once again, when you make the lines, thinking about the reason we have the top line is so that your pencil goes all the way up there. Okay, so it's giving an even thing, and then my mid-level letters go to the center. Okay, so I'm going all the way down the bottom, all the way up to the top. Same thing here, trying to think about that my starting point is similar. Okay, doing my nicest handwriting, which I know is going to vary from person to person, but we can all tell when people have made an effort. Okay, so from the top to the bottom, especially for those letters that go from the top to the bottom, so being attentive to that. And then same thing down on the bottom, writing your name and doing that first so that when they all get put out to dry, we know whose is whose. Because this is a class project and I have many classes, you may also want to put down the period, but that's not necessarily, because once again, this is more of a final product, so totally not necessary. Now, so we're going to first do the front piece. So once again, the orientation, this is the top of the sky, this is the bottom of the sky. You have a choice on what type of painting you do. I'm going to I really am just kind of partial to Cumulus Clouds, and we're going to use a sponge for that, so it's pre-moistened. I got it wet, and then I squeezed it out. This is about, so you're all going to get this little kind of palette tray. It's kind of hard to see the white here. Now you can see it. So the white is a lot more and just a very little bit of blue. So a little bit of blue goes a long, long way. So I'm going to take my sponge. See if you can get both of this in the picture here. So I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to just kind of blot around. Once again, cumulus clouds are puffy with distinct edges. I could try to get a second one in there if you wanted to, so maybe I'd go down and make another one. Okay, and then once again, the sun is coming from the top, so I'm thinking about, like, is my sun going to be over here? So I'm going to have more, I would have more of the shadow on the bottom. So I'm going to take another corner and get just a little inky-dinky bit of blue. A little bit of blue goes a long way, and I'm going to kind of work on the bottom, giving some depth to my cloud. Okay, so I'm going down to the bottom. And sometimes it might be a little too distinct, and then you would just go in with your white and go back over and do a little bit of blending. You could also kind of go into the cloud and maybe have some little bit of depth up there as well, just to give it some interest. Okay, so both of them should have some markings on the bottom. And once again, going back in with the white and blending it a little bit. Okay, so there's your first kind of your cover design. Then you're going to open it up. So here's my cloud booklet. And then I'm going to open it up, and this is going to be my larger piece here. Once again, yours is going to be significantly larger than this demo piece that I have. The top piece is going to be the Stratus Clouds. Okay, so I'm going to have, these are the tools I'm going to need. I'm going to have my sponge for my Cumulus Clouds. I'm going to have a flat brush, and then I'm going to have more of a round brush, and I'm going to have my white and blue. So the top panel is going to be Stratus, and these are wispy, so I'm going to take my thin brush okay, my rounded brush, and I'm going to make some kind of wispy clouds. And when you do this, you're also going to have photographs out of cirrus clouds, so you can kind of see that I just can't get this all in this small screen here. And then you're going to go back, and you're going to take a little bit of blue and get some shading down on the bottom. Once again, you want to get that shadow. So once again, the sun is here coming down, and if it's too dark, you can always blend it in, okay? And what I see doesn't quite look the same as you, just because the document camera is not all that fabulous, but you get the basic idea. So the next one is going to be Altocumulus, then it's going to be Cumulus, then Stratus or Stratus on the bottom one, however you want to pronounce it. So these two shapes are going to be pretty similar because they're both cumulus, which is that puffy kind of cotton ball shape. The alto refers to that as more of a mid-level cloud, so it's going to be higher in the sky than just the cumulus, but the shapes are going to be fairly similar. So I'm going to kind of, once again, start with my sponge, go around to some puffy clouds. Maybe up here I might, do a kind of big cloud up here. And because the Altocumulus and the Cumulus are the same shape, I'm going to go and make some more puffy clouds down below, and maybe do kind of 2 in the sky or something, just to give it a little bit more interest. And then I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to get the corner of my sponge, and I'm going to get a little bit of blue on it to get that shading in on the bottom. And once again, when you see something like that, you're like, whoa, I don't really see big dark blue spots in the sky. So you go back in and you blend it a little bit more, okay, maybe put a little bit in there. And once again, if it's too much, get a clean corner, put in a little bit more white, okay, so blend that up a little bit, okay. So same thing, they should all have a little bit of shadowing down on the bottom, okay. Sometimes you can add a little bit of interest up there and to get a little bit more depth into the clouds. So there's our Altocumulus and our Cumulus clouds. And now on the bottom one is our Stratus Clouds. And the Stratus Clouds, once again, they're flat, they're gray, so if you wanted to, you could even pull in a little bit of maybe black. And once again, look at the volume that I'm using, just a dot, so we don't need a whole bunch if you're going to use black. And, because of these long, flat clouds, I'm going to use the flat brush, and they cover the sky, so I'm pretty much kind of going across the sky with this flat strokes, kind of filling up the sky, and then going back in, picking up a little bit of blue on the bottom to get that shading. And once again, if you wanted to do a little bit of black to get more of a grayish color, then that's great. So once again, you've got your name on it. You're going to put it off to the side.